there's always a point within an artist's career where they want to make that body of work that's going to allow them to step out of the box of what we generally expect them to do and do something completely different. It could be a new sound or even creating sounds within genres that they don't normally play around in. So this goes way back further than this era of music, of course. We've got Stevie Wonder, who did The Secret Life of Plants, which is one of my faves. Marvin Gaye had Here, My Dear. And our resident chief in Genius in Chief, I should say, Kanye West gave us 808s and Heartbreaks, which was a monster album that had a lot of hits. So in my opinion, thus far, this new Drake release is kind of his 808s and Heartbreaks. And some people are going to dig it and some people not so much. I think I'm going to kind of ride the middle. Never mind. Let's go.
My hand, yeah, take my hand. Follow me. Follow me. Yeah,
Me.
let's go.
Let's go.
To the
Yeah.
Welcome back, people, to my media couch, where we can sit back and talk about this new Drizzy release that has everybody in their feelings. See what I did there? Either one way or the other, you definitely gonna have an opinion. But before we launch into the sonic nuances of this, please take a moment to subscribe, like, and share the page. For those who've been riding with me, I appreciate you. Anybody that's new to this Fame Analytics life, I'm extending you pounds and hugs on your way in. Okay. Now, I feel that Drake is at his best when he walks at the intersection of hip hop and R&B soul. You know, he has a unique ability to be able to create catchy melodies that really resonate within his pocket. You add some razor sharp bars and you've got a decade of timeless classics, which is what we have from Drake. Whenever Drake drops an album, we do expect a certain amount of balance between him singing and dropping bars. And he's got an audience for both of these creative hemispheres, which is one of the many reasons why he's been a dominant force within the industry. But for this album, he clearly decided that he wanted to sing all of his stories of heartbreak and betrayal and opulence over a variety of different soundscapes. There have been mixed results in terms of this choice of direction, which is understandable. It's not a bad album. You know, people have been saying it's trash and this and that. It's not trash. It's not a bad album. The production is very solid. The melodies and the stories are on the same caliber that we expect, you know, that we see from Drizzy. The issue is that there's no balance. Again, like I said, he's at his best when he kind of creates that balance. There's no real balance with this album between the singing and the rapping. And we realize one thing: Drake's not a singer. No shade, just stating facts. He can hold a melodic note and he has a cool tone that rides beats very perfectly when he mixed them with those bars. But the type of music that he's given us on this particular album would have been better delivered by a true vocalist, because Drake pretty much only has a very limited vocal range. Even if even if the songs are good, they're still going to be in danger of them kind of sounding alike. And at times, that's kind of what I got from this album. It's like one long song sometimes, which is why a lot of people are kind of hitting the skip button so often when they initially heard it. So I kind of get it. A lot of songs can kind of sound a lot alike with that, but that's kind of what you get when you kind of have a singer that doesn't have a lot of range and such like that to their voice. Again, no shade, just stating facts. And again, I am a Drake fan. I do look forward to his drops because he's usually on point in terms of all the areas, and he can be pretty interesting. But with this particular one, I really had to listen to this album 3 to 4 times just to get a clear idea of kind of what he was trying to convey. So I think that he just wanted to make a complete album where all he did was sing. You know, just pure melodies that kind of focused on love and life lessons. And, you know, if I told you that this was something, if I was told ahead of time that this was something he was going to do, we would have expected like a whole album of like Passion Fruit, One Dance, and That's How You Feel. Those are like good bops, right? Now, I would have been all good with that. Those are really great songs. But that's not what we got with this album. For the most part, you know, the compositions didn't immediately grab your attention like some of the others I mentioned. You know, I mean, there's a few standouts that have potential, like Sticky, I liked, Massive, and some others, but a lot of them, again, have the same type of energy, even though the beats and the productions are good, but it's the same kind of energy. But the good news is that the more that I do listen to it, the more I do find different things that I do like about it. So that is a good sign. So it may age well in terms of that or whatever. And again, it's not a bad album. It's just not what we've come to expect with Drake, which is great in terms of from a risk standpoint, but not so great in terms of the types of songs he decided to sing, because he's not a singer. Therefore, a lot of the songs sound a lot alike. like. So this is not my favorite Drake release. I do respect any artist that decides to take a risk and make music that's different from their normal output. But I did find myself struggling to find songs that really stuck to my ribs. And I'm just not used to that when it comes to a Drake album. So overall, I feel like it's not his best work in terms of things he's put out. But it is risky. So for that, I do respect that. Did the risk pay off? I'd have to say no. I think that this album have some great placements and advertisements in different places, and there's going to be a certain amount of fans that are going to love it. But overall, I don't think it's going to be remembered like an 808s, because 808s Heartbreaks has had so many undeniable hits, and it went from being a Yeezy offshoot to the blueprint for how Yeezy operated going forward. So I think that Drake fans that love Drake are just going to, who love to hear him sing, are going to love this, while the rest of us who kind of crave that balance are going to be waiting for that next drop that'll kind of quench our taste for the Six God talk that we kind of know and love. Anyway, what were your thoughts? How did you like this album? Where do you think it ranks in terms of his previous releases? Let's kind of talk about it in the comments, and make sure you guys stay locked in. I got a lot of celebrity interviews coming up, a lot of great stuff you do not want to miss. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you tell a friend to tell a friend. Take care. Peace.